The Weekly Warp Pipe.
What's up, my Warp Pipers? Welcome back to another episode. We're diving into cartoons of the 80s that we remember. We each chose 5 that stood out in our mind, and we're going to discuss them. Might be some overlaps. I'm sure you're going to remember a few, but it'd be great to think back growing up watching these cartoons. We're back with another Warp Pipe rental, and we're renting Lilo and Stitch this week because the new live action movie came out. See how the guys liked it. And of course, you got to stay to the end for Wheel of Doom, where we're debating, is Super Nintendo better than Sega Genesis? Might be a clear-cut answer. I don't know. Gotta wait and see. All right, guys, sit back, relax, enjoy some nostalgia, and let's jump in the Warp Pipe. Heck yeah, we're back. Back in black. Look, we all got black on today.
Right. Men in Black. Men in Black.
Is that a brigade shirt?
I got to show off my shirt. So I went Monday. Dave left me Han Solo. He was
I'll tell you what I was doing on Monday.
All right, tell me.
Oh, you want me to tell you now?
Yeah,
so
that's fine.
I got a phone call from Eric and Carson Bloomquist, who are the writers and directors of some of the movies I work on, like Founders Day, She Came from the Woods, Intermedium. And they filmed a movie back in October in West Virginia that they had asked me to work on, but it kind of coincided around Kylie's birthday, so I couldn't do the movie. So they ended up calling me. They had some guy do some stills while they were down there, but I don't know if maybe it didn't come out how they had hoped. So they called me up. We rented this Airbnb for the day. It's like literally, dude, hear me out. It it's this little cabin that somebody made on 22 acres of land that was a trek to get up a mountain. Like, and I'm talking like rocks, mud, like super dangerous.
Like Cabin in the Woods.
It
Like
was,
horror movie.
dude,
Perfect.
it was probably like 100, not even 100 square foot cabin.
Okay.
It was powered by a generator, which was then powered by solar panels. So that's how it got its power. And it just overlooked, it had a really nice overlook.
Okay.
And we basically, obviously it's a little bit of a horror movie, I guess. And I had to go in, and within this, I shot video. So I'm going to put up a behind the scenes video eventually once the movie comes out. But essentially, I had to set up this backdrop and all my lights inside this cabin, which was super tiny and super tight as it is. And we shot all these characters for the poster.
Right.
And then after that, we set a bonfire, and we had to shoot like this makeshift scene. And I had to do stills. So they basically set this whole shoot up specifically for stills. So this week they can announce the movie on bloodydisgusting.com, where they're going to first look at with the still that I took on Monday for the movie. So it's the first time I've been on a movie set in, I don't know, a year. So it was nice to get back into it. But yeah, that's what I apologize. I did not go to Bit Brigade. I totally blanked on it. Totally forgot.
I went solo. I had already bought my ticket. Reached out to a few people to see if they could go, and a lot of stuff came up. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna go by myself. So I got there, saw the opener act, and it was a 2-piece video game themed, like original stuff. So I was like, okay, they're cool. I'll pick up their CD, support the scene. And then Bit Brigade came on, and they did F-Zero. So the guy just raced whatever the circuit would be. It's like 5 or 6 races, and they played the music live while he raced, which was awesome. Finished that, and they did Super Mario World. So he went through the whole game and beat it probably in about an hour, I'd say that set was. And they don't play like every Super Mario World song because a lot of the levels reuse the same track, right? So they'll play it the first time, and then when they get to some of the later levels, they'll start playing other Mario songs. So they played a little bit of like Mario 2, Mario Land on the Game Boy, Mario 3. So they peppered in those tracks as well. And it was cool to see So then when the show finished, I was like, I'm going to pick up some merch. So I ended up getting this shirt. It's Bit Brigade in the Bionic Commando font with dun, 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 freaking Hitler death scene
Nice.
on it.
That's cool. Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
So I was like, I don't know, maybe sleeves are coming off of this because it's a pretty awesome shirt. So I picked that up, and I also picked up the vinyl of Castlevania. They do Castlevania, so it's them playing the music live on that. So I got that vinyl and in the
Mhm.
T-shirt.
What did they do last year when we went?
So last year, I believe they did. Didn't they do Zelda? I want to
Yeah.
say
Yes.
they did
Yes.
Zelda, and I almost want to say Castlevania. I can't remember because I've seen them a few times. They've done Mega Man 2 before. And they last year one of the guys broke a string. So while he was changing it, the guy
Right.
who plays the game did a speed run of Marble Madness by himself.
Hmm.
It was like 5 minutes long.
Right. Because it's only I think 5 levels. So
You're right. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's cool.
no. Have you ever seen Bit Brigade? Do you know about Bit Brigade, Keith?
Not a clue. Not a clue. This is the first time hearing of it.
Yeah.
yeah, so I mean to break it down, essentially they have the band and then they have a guy who is speed running the game. So he's part of the band. He's sitting in a chair with a monitor playing, and then they have a projector showing the gameplay behind the band. And so they play the music along and they're kind of watching. So when he ends the level, they're like, "Bah, 2, 3, 4, dun, 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 dun,"
Hmm.
and they kick in again. They do if he dies, they all mess up their instruments and then like
Oh, cool.
start over. But
Yeah.
I haven't seen him die when he's been playing, so
Wow.
It's
definitely
pretty
cool
cool.
concept.
It's really fun to watch.
That
Yeah,
takes some talent for sure. That's
Yeah.
impressive.
right.
Wow.
On all
Yeah.
ends, yeah, definitely.
Wow.
Nice. You up to anything else for us?
Well, I was gonna get into some stuff. I don't know what Keith's got going on. I don't want to take
Oh,
up too
Keith,
much
what do you got
time.
going on?
I don't got much. We got a guy that's on vacation at work, so I'm doing the job of two people. Like I told David today,
Oh,
it's been
Oh, yeah?
12-hour days cruising at work. So
Wow.
that's what I have for us. What else you got going on?
well, I was lucky enough to be able to finally get off from work. I was unsure if I was going to be able to go, but I headed to Boston just on Saturday to go to PAX East. It's a huge show. It's Thursday through Sunday, and they do PAX East, PAX West as well for the West Coast. But they're basically it's a show where they showcase any new games coming out, indie games or large games as well, and you can try them. They'll have a ton of booths set up. There's tons of panels to go to. Funny enough, Bit Brigade played Friday night um, at PAX, so they were like the after hours entertainment. But I was able to check out. We got there super early, so I ended up going with my buddy Ganny Man, who goes every year, and he signed up to be what's called an enforcer, like a volunteer, basically of PAX. But they so it's not really a volunteer because they pay you minimum wage, and
Hmm.
you only have to work, I think, a 5 hour day, and then you could just enjoy the con. But you have to work Thursday through Sunday. So he had to get there somewhat early, and we were taking the train in, and the only options was 6:30 a.m. train or 9 a.m. train, and we would kind of get in a little late because doors open at 10. So we had to get up at 4:30 in the morning,
Ooh.
drive to the train station, get the train, and get in line. And we were in there fairly early, and I had to pick up my badge, and then we got onto the floor, and we're waiting on the floor for the everything to open up at 10 o'clock. And it's wild just waiting in line. I never got there that
Mhm.
early. We're standing in line and huge crowd. And then all of a sudden, like a beach ball comes up and everyone's hitting the beach ball around. And so the enforcers of the crowd take the beach ball away. And then out of nowhere, a freaking blow up shark comes up and an orca. And then they're bouncing around and like fighting in there. And then a naked dude that's a blow up thing.
Wait,
He's jumping
what?
around.
Ooh, that
What kind
got
of podcast is this?
right.
So what? Just chaos. So finally the doors open, they took all the floats away, and he was telling us to book it to what was it? I don't know if you ever heard of the game Elden Ring.
Hmm.
It's a super super difficult game, and they had this giant dome that was in the middle of PAX here. Essentially, I don't know if you'll be able to see the photo, but it was like a um, like a pop up tent essentially,
Yeah,
where oh yeah, I forgot I'm on manual
there
focus.
you go. There you
So
go.
it's like a huge tent, and the only way you could get inside to see what was in there is you had to get a ticket that had a time slot on it. So everyone ran to that dome, and they just had tickets, and they're like 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, like that, and you just had to grab one. So then
Hmm.
you got your time slot and came back, and basically they just showed you the new game. It's called Elden Ring, Night Rain. That's it, Night Rain, and they had the developer, a streamer, and then one person from the crowd play the game, and you watch about 15-20 minutes of gameplay. It looks awesome, beautiful, wicked hard. I don't know if I would ever get the game, but it was cool to kind of see some of the stuff there. But I tried a lot of indie games. I bought they actually had a booth of the Choose Your Own Adventure. You remember those books?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had new Choose Your Own Adventure books.
Oh, nice.
So I
That's
picked up
cool.
a 4 pack of it was like the ninja bundle. So it had 4 books about ninjas. And
Nice.
they had a whole bunch there. And she's got a new book coming out this summer that looked awesome. So I was chatting with that lady. So that was cool. And oh, you know who else was there? Let's
Tell
see.
us.
Tell
I
us.
want to
I'll
know
tell you. I'll tell
who was
you.
there.
Because they have what's neat is you the both sides are connected where in the convention center there's a glass bridge that crosses so you could
Hmm.
kind of walk across and see what's there. So like I was walking across and I was like, oh, what's going on the main stage? So like I zoomed in there and I was like, hey, I know that guy. So
Who is that? I can't.
it's a little hard to see, but that's Xavier Woods from
Oh,
Up
is
Up
it
Down
Xavier
Down, or
Woods? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
or from New Day
From New
Wrestling. And
Day. Yeah.
there was a few other wrestlers.
Oh, you're muted.
There were a few other wrestlers
There
there
you go.
hanging out as well. Um, but it was cool. Like, hey, it's a little celebrity action there.
Nice.
I didn't get to see him and say hi, but I was like, he's seen my car before.
That's right.
But yeah, other than that, I didn't really pick up a whole bunch of stuff. It was the books uh, and some PAX merch, like a PAX T-shirt, essentially, and a pin. So I was like, all
Yeah.
right, it was cool to kind of get out there and see the new stuff coming out. I was very surprised Nintendo was not there.
Hmm.
Figured they'd be showing off the Switch 2. Nope. No one was
Right.
there from Bethesda showing off Doom, the new Doom game. So I was like,
Right.
okay. I don't even think PlayStation was there. So I was like, okay, so a lot of the big names didn't make it. They had some big Pokemon lab that was set up. So they had that, which I was like, okay, I'm not into Pokemon, so I'm not going to stand there and do whatever that is. But other than that,
Was that for TCG or was that for Nintendo?
yeah, I
The
don't know who set
Pokemon.
it up. I feel like it was. I mean, officially Nintendo, maybe not there. I don't know.
Yeah.
It had it was called like Pokemon Play Lab. So I don't know who set that up. It had a big old like thing here with like Charizard and like
Interesting.
so I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I'll grab some pictures of that walking by.
Was it for the cards or was it for a game?
Cards. Yeah, card
Cards.
game.
Okay, so TCG. Yeah, they probably set them all up because Pokemon
Yeah.
is crazy hot right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
you can't find it in the store at all.
with card games and board games, PAX is like well known for this. So like the floor closes at 6 o'clock, I think, each day, but the board game area stays open to midnight. So I could show you guys the what it looks like. It's just insane with how many people there are playing board games. So
Oh
this
my
is
god.
that's just board game tables, like people are playing, and then there's board game like vendors there, and then you walk to the other side essentially, and that's the vendor hall. So it's like two huge sides to the convention center. So you got the main stage and then all the exhibitors and everything. But like the board game section, just massive, and people just playing board games all weekend, learning how to play board games. They're selling tables that are like $10,000, like where you would
Yeah.
play like Dungeons and Dragons, and then like, oh, we're not done with our game, and you put like inserts on it and like other stuff, so then you can eat on the table and you don't have to disturb
Yeah.
anything. And they're like
Nice.
handmade. I'm like, good God.
They're pretty cool for sure. I remember seeing those. Some of those we went to PAX in Seattle years and years and
Yeah.
years ago, and I remember seeing those guys there, and that was they were the same. I think PAX in Seattle was back then. It was two different buildings, and the one was like
Oh, okay.
all the video games, and you like had to like cross the street, and then there was a whole other building that was all the board game stuff, and it was pretty cool. But that was, it was a lot of years ago. I went to that one.
Right. I mean, that's pack. So they do pack West and East, and they do different colors. So on the East Coast,
Yeah,
it's red and black as their color themes, and then I think it's blue and black for the West
and
Coast.
back when I went, I don't even know if there was the East one. Like, I think it was just
Just
the
West.
one. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, I don't even think they developed their East Coast convention yet at the time. Like, this was a long time ago. So,
Well, they did try a South, and it
yeah,
didn't go over. And so currently, there's West, East. There's past PAX Unplugged, which is just board games. I forget where that is. And then I guess they have one in Australia.
hmm,
So it's definitely one of the biggest
interesting.
conventions on the East Coast for us. I'd say, right there with like New York Comic Con, but having more to do with video games and board games.
Yeah.
Well, while you
Nice.
were there,
Mm.
I went to Shop the Curiosity toy show.
Yes.
And this was the first time that I have been able to go to this show. I know the girl who runs it. I met her a few times. And this is probably the best toy show in Connecticut. She's had it for years. I'm always working the day that it happens. I was not working this year, so I made sure that I was able to go this year. And oh boy, did it not disappoint. They had I mean, I just came back from Chicago, so, I was a little tapped out, and I'm going on vacation this week as well, but the stuff that they had there was wild. I think it was even more wild because you never see the stuff that they have in
Hmm.
Connecticut.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you
Right.
usually go to a lot of the same you go to the same shows over and over and over again on the month-to-month basis, and it's usually always the same vendors. They had they had vendors from the UK, like,
Damn.
that flew
Wow.
in to do this show. Um, there were vendors from, I think, Australia or,
Like,
like,
I wonder
even
what is the expected take home if you're coming from another
Yeah.
like, you're gonna make $5,000? Like,
well, it's just one of those shows that, like the Chicago toy show that I went to,
yeah.
it's just being built year in, year out, and it's just starting to become one of those shows that has all of that kind of I don't know, that not so ordinary things that you typically see.
Mhm.
I know that I sent you a picture. They had like these mini Exo Squad figures that
Yeah,
were
yeah.
not the normal size. They were like carded on a back that not in a box. And they had like I was showing like weird stuff. Like I don't know if you guys remember these, but I'm not going to be playing show and tell. But these are sports freaks.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys remember these, but I used to have like one of these as a kid but they were like a little figure. And these are like the bigger ones. And these were just like in a random dig bin. And these are like super hard to find. You don't really come across these.
Hmm.
And so I found a bag of these are not muscle men, these are weird ball, basically muscle men. So like there's just weird stuff that I found throughout the day. And one of the coolest things that we did was my friend Alex over in where was he? The podcast, the Nostalgia Junkies podcast.
Okay.
We found a guy who had an entire bag. This was like right before we left. He had an entire bag of these little mini Mad Balls.
Oh,
These are just
okay.
like little mini. These were in like blind bags,
Yeah, yeah,
and
I can
you
see
you
that.
you get different characters. He had a bag of 24 of them, and so we bought the whole bag, and when the show ended, we went out into the parking lot, shot a little video. We ended up just doing a draft and splitting it, so video will come out for that. But like, stuff that you don't really see all that often in Connecticut. So it was really cool to see. And tons of our friends were vendors. Cruz was a vendor. Spruce was a vendor. Our friend Mike was a vendor. Killer Carp was a vendor. Typo Toys, which is Rob. Rob Krosky was a vendor. Our friend Roman. Like, there were just so many of our friends that were vendors. And it was actually kind of nice because even though they got to walk around beforehand, I got to walk around the entire show without having to compete with any of our friends. And I did get to meet Retro Slacker, who we've been kind of communicating through Instagram. He's a YouTuber. He does a lot of toy videos as well. So it was really cool to connect with him. And we're gonna try. He's in Pennsylvania. We're gonna try to hook up and do some hunting soon up here in the Northeast. So
Nice.
super fun week.
Busy weekend for sure.
It was very busy.
So it keeps
sure.
working. We're having
Right.
fun.
I am jealous.
But he's making money. We're spending money.
That is true.
Well, guys, we jump over to our Warp Pipe rental. I think we rented a Game Boy Advance game this week. Russ, go ahead.
Let's head to the video store, grab a game for the weekend. We have the box art and description to guide us when we're choosing what game to rent. So grab your rental card because this is the Warp Pipe Rental.
What game you rent for the weekend?
That's right. We hit up the rental store, and I thought it'd be fun because the Lilo and Stitch live action movie is coming out. So we got on the Game Boy Advance Lilo and Stitch. Now, just because it's a Disney game and I think Lilo and Stitch cutesy, fun game. You ever played Metal Slug? That's what this game pretty much follows. You got pineapple grenades, you got your blasters, and it's a run and gun style game. I definitely love the brightness of the box art with Stitch on there with his arms. Features movie clips as well. It does give you some cutscenes from the movie, which was pretty neat to see on a Game Boy Advance. I do have my copy here is just in a Nintendo DS case. That's a fun tip. If you have Nintendo DS cases, they have this little extra. I don't know what else it would be used for, but a Game Boy Advance game fits in there instead of having your DS game there, and then you can just print some box art for it. So I think I came across this game probably through a Metal Jesus video, one of those like hidden gems, like 10 years ago or whatever when it came out, and I was pleasantly surprised. They did do a sequel as well. It was a little similar, a little different, but I don't know. What did you guys think of this game here, coming into it blind, basically?
I played a little bit of it. I played the first few levels, and I thought it was fun. Like, you're right, it's definitely got that Metal Slug feel to it. I didn't realize the pineapples were grenades. I was just
Yes,
shooting my
yeah.
guns. I never got that far
Yeah, I
into
think the
it, I
trigger
guess.
throws the grenades.
Oh, okay, I wasn't pressing those buttons, so, yeah, other than the fact that I when I duck, I couldn't shoot, that was
Right.
something that I noticed right away. I was like, "This like, why can't I shoot?" Because I gotta duck quite often, I feel like, to avoid this, like, are they are they monkeys? Are the It's been a long time since I've seen the movie Lilo and Stitch, so I
Me too,
don't
me
know
too.
the characters. And I
Right,
was like,
right.
I don't remember them being characters, but maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, whatever the monkeys were shooting at me, and then there's the squid-headed guys that were launching pineapple
Yeah,
grenades at me.
yeah.
They got me a bunch of times, but
Yeah.
fun game, you're right, like, it does definitely have that Metal Slug feel to it.
Hmm.
It's it's colorful, it's bright. I like that when you're, like, shooting certain directions, he's, like, making faces and stuff like that.
Right.
I thought that was cool looking, but
Very animated.
definitely a fun and interesting game, one that I definitely would wanna play more to see what it where it goes, right? 'Cause
Right.
I don't know if I never saw a boss in my playthrough. Like when I was playing, I didn't get far enough to have like a boss.
Okay.
Was the monkeys that were like in like the spaceships and stuff like that were shooting
Mhm.
at me. But
Because there's you get to the end, I think of it's almost like in a warehouse building or something like that.
yeah,
And it's almost like a crane type machine. I think that's a
yeah.
boss like battle.
Oh, okay. I wasn't even sure if that was a boss or not. Same with the doors. You got to blow the doors up while the monkey guys are attacking you.
Right, right.
You gotta shoot the
Mhm.
doors, and then I made it through 3 of those, and yeah, through that the crane game guy, but I wasn't
I
I
thought
didn't know he was a boss.
I
Right.
thought it was cool that you can actually play like as you go level to level. You could also play as Lilo, and then you guys kind of go back and forth. And I think there's like a shooter level too, right? I think it's like the third level or something turns into like Stitch as a shooter level as well. Um, but like Russ said, very Metal Slug. What I did like about it is when you died, you didn't actually die. You got to continue, but your life went down. I don't know if you guys notice this in on the thing, but on the top, it'll
Okay.
say you have like let's say hypothetically, like it says the number 3 at the top of the screen, right?
Okay.
And it has your life meter. When that life meter runs down, that number then changes to 2 and
Right.
automatically is reloaded. So you don't actually die. You just kind of like you don't have to like say you're facing a boss,
Right. Right.
you'll lose your energy and it just boosts your energy so you don't have to like
Yeah,
start the boss again from scratch.
Yeah. 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 Making it.
And so after the first and then there's continues and then that's when you would continue. That's not actually like a loss of a life. Am
yeah.
I
Yeah,
saying that right?
yeah, right, where you gotta do it to continue.
Yeah, yeah. So but like Keith was saying, if you want to dive back into it, it's a good rental because it's a password system.
Yeah,
And you can take it on the go as well, being on the Game Boy Advance. I mean, you can play it if you guys have the physical copy like me. You could throw it into your uh, GameCube Game Boy player and play it on the big screen, or just grab your handheld, play it on the go, play a few levels here and there, get your password, and then come back to it. Certainly easy enough to beat because it is a Disney game, right? They wanted to make it easy to pick up and play, and I think that they chose a great style to mimic or go with. They could have just made it, I don't know, some other genre, and just fumbled on it. But having Stitch as like the main character and he has those ray guns that they lean into, and you're like, all right, pineapple grenades because Hawaii, why
yeah.
not? Like,
I did a little
It's
research
actually
on it too, and they made
mhm,
it so like well, first off, did we didn't even talk about the difficulty. This game is not easy. This is a hard game. Like it ramps up pretty quickly. Uh and also the way the game style is and the difficulty and everything, like it's also a Disney game, so you don't really expect it. I mean, I know you could make the argument, oh, Aladdin was hard or Lion King was hard
mhm,
and,
right,
and all
right,
that stuff, but this is not like a kid's game. You know what I mean? Like it's a run and gun, you're throwing grenades, like it's very high paced or fast paced game.
right,
However, the second one, after doing a little research, because we played the first one and then I was like, well, I heard there was a second one, so I looked
yeah,
into
yeah,
the
yeah,
second one. Disney really kind of dumbed it down
they
to make
did.
it more kind of kid friendly. So it's kind of a complete
You
different
play as
game.
more stages with Lilo as well, where it's more like she's stealthy and like kind of
Hmm.
sneaking around, and
hmm,
I definitely prefer the first one over the
it's
second one.
surprising they went that direction for the gameplay in a Disney game, especially Lilo and Stitch. Again, it's been a long time since I watched the movie, but doesn't like remembering it doesn't feel like it's a run and gun shooter style of movie, right?
I mean, if
Like,
anything, they should have done space shooter, right? You're
Right,
just in
yeah,
space
right.
and
yeah,
Because
shooting. He's an alien,
he's an
but
alien, right?
you're like, okay, they do land on Earth, and people are trying to capture him, and this and that. So I was like, okay, I guess that makes sense. Like, whatever.
Yeah, yeah. So what did we all think of this game?
I give it either a real high 3
Hmm.
or a low 4.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah, I think I'd agree. I'd probably be in that 3 range, 3, 3.5 maybe, just with
Yeah.
again, with what I played, and again, I emulated it, so don't tell anybody, but totally emulated it. Um, I just couldn't find it. I went looking for it, I just
Yeah.
couldn't find it, right?
Okay.
So, either it's kind of more difficult to find for me here or I don't know, but yeah,
It
probably
could
about a
be.
3.5.
I'm gonna say, yeah, 3.5. Yeah, 4. I mean, I liked how it went from character to character, so you got to play a little bit with both characters, and then once you start playing as Lilo, you're in, like, I guess, the spaceship, and there's, like, transporters, so, like, there's also, like, some cool platforming and climbing and things like that, so I just don't understand, like, this you could if you pop in any other kind of, like, IP to this, like, it'd be a great game, like, if it was I feel like
I see what you're saying. If it wasn't attached to Lilo and Stitch, and you're like, Joe
Right.
Schmo shoots aliens.
Yeah. I mean, I just looked it up on price charting. This game only goes for $11 loose. So, yeah, if you
Grab
guys can
yourself a
find it,
copy.
I would totally pick it up because
Yep.
it's a fun one. I mean, if you like Metal Slug, you're gonna like this one.
Right. Absolutely. What do we got going on next week, Dave? What are we doing?
Next week, we have a movie, don't we? I believe we have a movie.
No.
Oh,
No,
no, I'm sorry.
next
That's the week
week.
after.
Too far
Guys,
ahead.
okay, so before we get into this, I am so thrown off because we have recorded 3 episodes in 2 weeks because I'm going away on vacation, so we're going ahead of things. So I had a conversation with Keith today. I had a conversation with Russ, trying to get everything situated. So next week, thank you for reminding me, we have a guest. We will announce the
We
guest
do?
later in the show. We do. Or should I announce it now? Should we announce it now?
Save it. They gotta listen the whole way through to find out who it is.
Okay. So
Okay,
we'll
perfect.
we'll announce it later. But our guest has chosen an N64 game called Fighting Force. And I
Okay.
believe it's a fighter game. I have not played it yet.
Interesting on the box that says from the creators of the Tomb Raider series, which is not a fighting game.
They do look like Tomb Raider characters though, huh?
Right, right.
Oh, look at this. This guy's already got it.
Keith's already ahead of the
I'm
game. He's
ready
already
to
got a copy.
go. I am ready to go.
How much
I
did
think
you
I
pay
played
for
this
it?
one on the PlayStation at one point.
What does
Oh,
that
no
go for,
kidding.
Keith?
Okay.
I don't remember. I might have got it on eBay. Whoops.
Oh.
Shipped to your house.
Well, like
Right,
Keith said, they
directly
also do
to the
have a
door.
version of this on PlayStation, but we will be doing specifically the
The
N64
N64.
version.
Yeah.
So that'll be next week with our special guest.
Excellent.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you guys ready? It's time.
I don't like the look on his face, Russ.
This
What
one's a fun one.
what
I'm
theme
not
are we
gonna
going
lie.
with
This
today?
one's a fun one. There is a theme. There is a straight theme for this. So roll it.
Hey, I bet you can't name that quote.
All right. I'm gonna roll up the sleeves.
I'm gonna rip off the sleeves.
Pull down the hat.
All right. So we got 3 quotes for you. These are all from the late 80s. And there is a theme. See if you guys can get it.
Okay.
Here we go with number 1. I was doing some thinking, and being that their last house burnt down and all, it's like maybe somebody left the gate open. It's a tough one.
That doesn't make any sense. House burnt down. Someone left the gate open.
Well, okay, so I'll give a little.
Oh, we can hear it, right? That very.
Well, hold on. Before,
Okay.
so
Okay.
somebody left the gate open, as in like the gates of hell.
Oh, okay. Not the
Okay.
front gate, like
Right.
at the house.
Yeah, they didn't burn the house down and then open the gate.
All right. So it's
So
got to be maybe some type of horror
Let's
movie
hear it.
or thriller.
Let's hear
let's hear it.
I was doing some thinking. And being that their last house burned down and all, it's like
I know
maybe somebody left the gate open.
I know that Russ should get this one. This is one of Russ's favorite movies. Do you know, Keith?
I feel like I do, but
You know the voice?
I know the voice. Yeah,
Okay.
I can see it, but I can't remember the name.
It is not Batman.
Oh, well, then I don't know. It's not Batman Returns. Okay, I don't know
No.
then.
What is it?
We're going with The Burbs with Tom Hanks.
Yes. And who said the quote?
That was Corey Feldman.
That's correct.
The worst part is before you even played the audio, I was gonna randomly guess the Burbs.
No
Just
kidding.
totally randomly, I was
You
gonna
should
guess
have
that.
done that. That would have been great.
Without
Oh wait,
without the
why
audio
didn't you
though.
say it?
Because I was like, "There's no way it's that," because that was just like off the hip shot. I didn't even
Yeah.
know that's what it was.
Well, that's
You
like when
said-
when I watched Caddyshack and I was like, oh, I just watched Caddyshack, and the quote was Caddyshack.
Right,
I
right.
didn't even know it.
It is difficult though without the audio.
Right, trying to put it
specifically.
together. Like I just with the words, I don't think I would have gotten it.
I mean, you could have said Nightmare on Elm Street.
Mhm.
Right. If you're thinking
You know,
gates
burning
of
down a
hell or burning a
house.
house, yeah.
Somebody left the gate open, whatever. You know, or you could have done the you could have done the Sandlot, and Hercules could have ran out the front gate. You know, he left the gate open.
Yeah,
who
Left the gate
knows?
open.
All right, so 1 for 1. Congratulations, Russ. All right. Okay, here's number 2. This is from 1987. We're on the right trail. Flies and the undead go together like bullets and guns. Name that quote.
Hmm.
We're on the right trail.
He's got nothing
Flies
either.
and the undead go together like bullets and guns.
I don't want to pre-guess without hearing the audio,
Sure.
right?
Okay. Do you have an idea? Do you have an
Maybe.
idea? Is something in your head?
Yeah. We'll see if it
Okay.
goes there. It would give it away with a voice if it's the act.
We're on the right trail. Flies and the undead go together like bullets and guns.
Okay, it wasn't the direction I was thinking, but I think I know.
What was the direction
What
you
it
were
was.
going?
I was gonna say Evil Dead. I would say like
Okay.
2 or something and figure that'd be later.
Okay.
But I think a connection with the theme and where
Okay.
this could be. This, do you know what it is, Keith?
Are they lost?
And how young are they?
I believe they might be boys.
Could be.
That's the weirdest thing ever.
Could it be
There might
Lost
be-
Boys?
It could be.
It
Yeah.
could
There
be
might
Lost Boys.
There might be vampires.
Vampires.
Yes, it is the Lost Boys. And who said it?
Kiefer Sutherland.
Do you guys have a theme yet?
Corey Feldman.
Kiefer Sutherland.
Kiefer Sutherland.
Let me ask you guys, how
Yeah.
long did it take you to eat white rice after this movie?
What were
Yeah.
they in there? Was it worms?
Maggots.
Maggots.
yeah.
Maggots. Yeah,
Wow.
maggots. Yeah. That was fun. Okay. Last one. You guys got the theme. This is from 1989. Hey, babe. I just wanted to fill you in regarding last night. I wanted to tell you I was not a cool dude, right? Also, like, I was totally unchilled. And, I should really chill out some more, right? Right?
The heck could this be from? I'm trying to think of other movies he's in now. Gonna have to hear it, I think.
What do you think,
Yeah.
Keith?
No, let's hear it.
Hey, babe. I just wanted to fill you in regarding last night. I wanted to tell you that I was not a cool dude, right? And also, like, I was totally unchilled, and, I should really chill out some more, right? Right?
What is going on?
What else was he even in?
I'm like, it's not the Goonies. I'm
It's
trying
not
to
the
think of other.
Goonies. He's
Was
in
that-
everything. What are you talking about? The 80s was all
It
about Corey
was.
Feldman.
It was Ninja Turtles.
It was not Donatello.
I'm stumped.
Stumped on this
Three
one.
Ninjas Kick Back.
Mm.
No?
He's not in Three Ninjas.
Surf Ninjas.
No idea.
Nope, don't know it.
That is Corey Feldman in Dream a Little Dream. And
I've
do you know
seen that
why
one.
he's speaking the way that he is? Do you
No.
remember that movie?
I don't
Have you
think
ever
I
seen
do.
that
Seen it.
movie?
Nope.
So that movie is one of those movies where he like runs into like an old guy and then their bodies get switched.
Oh, okay.
So he's speaking as the old guy trying to be hip.
Got a real Freaky Friday vibe to it.
So can you play the quote again and then you can hear how he's trying to be like cool sounding?
Hey, babe, I just wanted to fill you in regarding last night. I wanted to tell you that I was not a cruel dude, right? And also, like, I was totally unchilled, and, I should really chill out some more, right? Right?
So like while he's doing this, he's like doing all the motions like this,
Right.
you know? And so he's like the old guy in the young kid's body.
Yeah, I never seen that one.
No,
Okay.
never
Yeah,
seen
that's
that
a
one
good one.
either.
That's also got Corey Haim in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's one of those.
Nice.
It's not Licensed to Drive, which was another Corey Feldman, Corey Haim movie.
There we go.
But to
There
answer
we
your
go.
question, Keith, you also had Stand By Me he was in. He was in The Goonies. He was in Gremlins. We forget he was in Gremlins.
There you
So
go.
he's in a
There's
lot of
connect.
80s movies.
Hmm.
Yeah, Corey Feldman. He was the And actually in this movie there's an entire Michael Jackson dance sequence. So
So like super Freaky Friday. Oh no,
yeah,
that's
it's crazy.
13 going on 30, right? What carry the two? I don't know.
So you got 2 out of 3. Congratulations. You got the theme. See what we do next week with our special guest.
There we go.
So what? We're jumping over to rad or bogus. So we're each gonna pick a theme, video game, movie, something like that. We're gonna pick 2
Mhm.
items out of it. One is rad. We're gonna keep it. The other one is bogus. It is gone from existence. Hit it, Russ.
Bogus.
Keith, you want to go
Going
first?
Oh, I'm going first. All right.
Yeah, you
I've
go
been hard on
first.
you guys, and I don't know if this is gonna get harder or not.
Oh boy.
All right. So I picked games, and I picked. This is kind of a little bit of a twist on games. So what we're doing here, we talked about it a little bit last week when we talked about Link to the Past. So Legend of Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link or Adventure of Link,
Mhm.
which would make it so it's gone. If you pick that as bogus, Adventure of Link is completely gone. That going from that top-down action adventure game to that version and then back to Link to the Past and then sequentially the games we saw going
Mhm.
forward with the Zelda games.
Okay.
Or Super Mario Brothers 2, which again, we had the first one, then we had that change up, and then we went back to more of a Mario 1, 3 style of game, because that one is a reskin of Tokyo Panic. So you're gonna get rid of
Right.
one of those, which could change the whole future
Right.
of
A twist on it.
technically, because what if the
That's
next
really
game they
good.
decide they were gonna do that with instead of Mario 3 or
Yeah.
Link to the Past?
Right. Mario 3 would have been a reskin or yeah.
Right.
Who knows
So,
what?
well, would Mario 3 yeah, would Mario 3 be a reskin? Well,
Maybe, maybe not.
okay. I think I know my answer. Okay, I guess I'm going.
You're going.
Yeah.
So, Mario 2 is my favorite probably my favorite Mario game on NES. Uh, but if it wipes everything from existence and basically, like Keith said, would change the trajectory possibly, I'm gonna say Mario 2 is bogus because if not for Adventures of Link, would we have Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom? And like all of the, like Wind Waker and all that stuff where it's like the adventure type. So it kind of set a different trajectory, I feel, as opposed to Mario 2, which was a reskin. I feel like if you got rid of that, it could have just went into Mario 3 as Mario 2. So yeah, it sounds confusing,
Does
but
it sound good in your head?
yeah, it sounds good to me. So I'm gonna go Mario 2. As much as it pains me because I love
with it.
Mario 2 so much,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think for the future of Zelda gaming,
Okay.
they need. But here's the thing, though. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Nope, done.
Hold on. Wait a minute. This puts a wrench in it because Mario. Now, hear me out. If not for Mario 2, in future Mario games, would Luigi have the crazy jumps? Would Princess Peach be the floating princess? And would
There's no Shy Guys. There's no Birdo.
I'm not worried about them. Like you could take them out of
The
Mario
bombs.
Kart. I'm all good. Well,
No cool mice with sunglasses.
oh well, that's fine.
Mauser.
I'm not mad about that. But that's interesting. Of like, what would the future of Mario be without Mario 2? Because it did set some other things. I'm gonna stick to my answer though. So
Okay.
I'm going and
Russ?
for sake of time, we're not getting into it. This is a whole topic in itself. So Russ, what's your pick?
I feel like I will still also go Super Mario 2 bogus because I feel like Doki Doki Panic still being out there, I feel like the programmers would have still maybe got some inspiration playing that game or seeing how that was to shape the next Mario type game. So maybe it wouldn't be exact in some certain things, would be a little bit different, but I feel like they still would have got there eventually, right? With the inspiration. But with Zelda, them taking that chance on there with Zelda 2, I feel like that had to be set in stone with the base of the rest of the Zelda games. No Ocarina of Time with such exploration and magic use and all that. So yeah.
Agreed. Where are you, Keith?
I'll throw a wrench in it for you then.
Oh, do this.
If you got rid of Zelda or Mario 2,
Okay.
and they decided, well, we'll just bring what would have been the lost levels or the actual Super Mario Brothers 2
Yeah.
to North America. Would we have even seen a Mario 3? Would people have been like, this is ridiculously hard. Why am I playing this? I don't want to play a Mario game ever again. I'm still going to get rid of Mario 2.
That is true though. I
Guys,
feel like
Yeah,
the
Mario
Western
2 is
audience.
bogus. We got to keep Zelda going how it goes. It just
that's
sadly it has
yeah.
to keep going that
There's a
way.
lot of variables for that.
Mhm.
Paradox.
Paradox. Schrodinger's cat.
All right, so I'll go next. So I picked sports. Now, I'm keeping it to nostalgia reasons though. We're not talking about like specific sports teams or anything like that, or even, you know, professional sports. What we're talking about is the schoolyard or the streets. Which one would you guys do away with? Because I played a lot of these as a kid.
Wait, we're either doing schoolyard or street, getting rid of one of them.
No,
okay.
Dodgeball.
No, dodgeball. Yeah. So the question is, because I used to play these in the street and also at school, but would you guys choose street baseball
Okay.
or flag football?
All right.
So flag football, I remember playing like mostly at school.
Yeah.
You know, during gym class, and you wear the little thing on your waist,
clip
and
on, yeah.
they take the Velcro flags off. Or you're home, you got friends down the street, you pile up in the street, you play some baseball, hit some balls into some cats and all that thing, which is a
Windows.
thing, which is a thing from where I grew up.
Hitting cats with baseballs.
No animals were harmed in the
no
filming
no
of
animals
this
were harmed,
podcast.
but there might have
Street
been
baseball.
there might have been a cat lady that was struck by a ball
Oof.
that I hit.
Just went straight to the source.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a true story. It is a true story.
Like,
So
if I
what do you
get
think?
rid of flag football, do I still have two-hand touch football, or is that gone too?
Well, I didn't say two-hand touch football.
Well, then
That's still on the table.
later street baseball. I
I
would
think that's
probably
a cop
do.
out though.
I would probably get rid of flag football.
Okay.
I feel like I'd say flag football is bogus because I feel like street baseball or sandlot style baseball
Right.
was more of a thing for a lot of kids back in the day because like flag football I feel is more like intramural sports and stuff like that, more
Mm.
organized, not just having fun on a summer's day, going out there and trying to hit the cat lady with a baseball. So I'm gonna say flag football is bogus. Street
enough.
baseball is rad because it's street baseball. It sounds cool.
Street
Yeah.
baseball. I played flag football only obviously at school. Like we didn't have flags. Like we didn't buy the flags to play around the street growing up. So playing baseball would be more accessible. I did play probably more street hockey, I will say,
Okay.
opposed to baseball. But I still feel like I would probably get rid of flag football if we're doing a choice on that because even with street baseball, you could play with two people if you want, just pitching the ball and someone catching it and this and that. With flag football, I feel like you got to have a pretty large group to get more fun out of it.
So we used to play a lot of street baseball on my street. We didn't have a very busy street. It was one of those side streets. Every day during the summer, we used to play street baseball. And I will say the cool thing about our street is the houses were very close together, and the street was fairly narrow, but there were like cars parked on the sides. And street baseball, it really taught us how to perfectly time swings because we had to hit it straight or else we're going to hit all the houses.
True.
So, um, and then there was this one instance where I smacked the ball and the cat lady was sitting on the front steps and smacked her in the leg. And that really happened. But yes, I 100% going with street baseball. We used to have the Nerf ones, the Nerf bats, and we used to use tennis balls as our baseball. So sorry, flag football. I did have fun, but street baseball, 100%.
I
Perfect.
think we just learned that David was a young troublemaker. That's what we learned.
Fair enough.
You're up, Russ.
All right, food. More like drinks, but in the food category. This may be an easy one. I don't know if both of you. I know David has. I don't know if Keith has though. But discontinued drinks. We're gonna put back together. So one's rad, one's bogus. We got Surge, Crystal Pepsi.
Go to Keith and zoom in on Keith.
I was really hoping you were gonna pick Hawaiian Tropic Fruit Punch as one of them, so I could bring that back. That was delicious.
Ooh,
Surge, I think, would be rad. I think Crystal Pepsi just always gonna be bogus. Why does my
The
Pepsi need
bogus.
to be clear and crystally?
I don't know. That was just the times.
Yeah, it really
make
was, right?
make the drink clear. I'm
Yeah.
trying to remember the taste of Surge itself. Right? Wasn't it green? And it's similar
was,
to a
yes.
Mountain Dew,
Mountain Dew
lemony,
limey, right?
limey. Yeah.
Limey Mountain Dew.
So
I-
it was so I did step away for a second because it's a funny story, but my room is like I've kind of moved a lot of stuff around. I literally have a bottle of Crystal Pepsi and a can of Surge still.
Ah,
Nice.
nice.
I still
Somewhere.
I just don't know where they are.
So
So
not in the fridge right back there.
no, they're not in the fridge.
Ready
Oh
to
man, I
crack
wish
open.
I knew where they were. But I do have a Crystal Pepsi and a can of Surge.
Now is it because they did re-release the Crystal Pepsi not too long ago?
Yeah.
Is it a can or a bottle from that?
No, I think it's a newer one. I think it's a newer one.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, so did you pick one, Keith?
I did.
He said
Surge is
Surge.
rad. Crystal
Surge.
Pepsi is crystally bogus.
So this is an easy one. I'm going with Surge. I used to work down at my dad's store when we were younger, and he used to carry Surge in the store, and I used to drink that stuff every single day while I worked. The thing about Crystal Pepsi that I'm starting to realize is I don't know if you guys know about Zevia.
No. What is
So
that?
Zevia is a zero sugar soda, and it basically, instead of sugar, it has stevia. So it doesn't have like aspartame or any of that stuff. So it's kind of like the healthy alternative to soda. But I do have this is a root beer. I also have the cola. Russ is drinking Barks. But, oh my god. That's all, yeah. Thumbnail. So anyway, the reason I'm bringing it up is because I'm comparing it to Crystal Pepsi because the cola, the root beer, you can't see it, but if I pour this in a cup,
It's clear.
it's clear.
Oh, okay.
So it was just artificially colored. So it kind of makes me wonder, like, Crystal Pepsi was just a gimmick that didn't have like coloring to it.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Surge because it was more original
Okay.
and it tasted better too. And I'm very disappointed that they came back with it and then discontinued it again. It came back as an energy drink though, right?
No, there was. I mean, maybe it did. I know it came back
Yeah.
once as like a regular. You could just buy it.
Yeah.
I
So
think I
I wish
grabbed
they would
one.
come back with Surge. As a matter of fact, our friend Alex over at the Nostalgia Junkies podcast, he just drove down to Pennsylvania and picked up a Surge cooler. You know,
Oh,
like
cool.
they used
Yeah.
to
One of
have.
those big bottles.
Nice.
Yeah.
It was one of
ice
those
in
big
it.
bottles. Yeah, he's been looking for one, and he throws like I forget what he throws in there. I think he throws like vintage hats and stuff in there, and like uses that as a display. But yeah, Surge over Crystal Pepsi.
Surge too. I feel like the design overall aesthetic of Surge just looked way better than Pepsi. And I never drank regular Pepsi itself, so and I enjoyed Mountain Dew, so it just made sense.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Sweet. Rad and bogus. That's it for that. We're going to be jumping into our main topic tonight, which is top cartoons of the 80s. But before we get to that, we're going to take a quick commercial break.
He possesses the strength of 1,000 men. His power matched only by his wisdom.
I only fight when I must.
He-Man. Catch the most powerful man in the universe right here as he uses his incredible strength against the evil forces of Skeletor. The power is here.
Weekdays beginning at 3:30 on Fox Channel 5.
You like gooey?
Yeah.
You like rose?
Oh, yeah.
Then you'll love
What?
a ghost with a moose.
Beetlejuice, come on down!
Ready or not, here it comes.
Beetlejuice today.
You gotta watch. It's the best!
Hey guys, did you know that we're offering channel memberships to help support the show? $1 gets you early access to videos, loyalty badge, and custom emojis. $3 gets you members only live streams, shout outs, and the Warp Pipe rental employee package. That's going to include a custom sticker, button, and membership card. With the Warp Pipe rental employee card, you'll be able to choose rentals for us to do on the show, including movies and video games. And during our once a month live stream, you guys will be able to chat with us while we're recording the episode. So consider signing up today to support the show and jump in the Warp Pipe with us every Saturday at 9 a.m. Cartoons, baby. Sick cartoons. So we each made top 5 or just a list of 5 essentially. So there may be some crossover, some matching, unsure, but we each got our own 5 that we're going to go into and chat about. I imagine we're probably gonna have some matches. We'll see.
You want to start us off for us?
Just start. We already had seen the commercial. He-Man, baby. I'm gonna go with He-Man. 80s cartoon certainly was fantastic. A great gimmick to get us to buy the He-Man toys as well. Just the fun aesthetic of it. I liked a lot of the the villains on the show. I think look really cool. Like He-Man's neat. You're like, all right, obviously some Conan the Barbarian inspiration to that, but I think it was like the villains. I remember getting the action figure. I can't remember who it is. Maybe David knows the purple guy with spikes coming out.
Spike-Core.
Spike-Core.
Yeah.
Such a cool
He
figure.
had the like trident or
arm.
whatever arm, right?
Yeah.
Like trident that would pop out. Yeah.
So I mean, a lot of these cartoons that we'll probably end up talking about also had toy lines, and that's kind of how they were hooking you in the 80s here, where they dropped the cartoon, dropped the toys, maybe get a video game tie-in at some point as well. But just seeing He-Man kicking some butt, some Skeletor butt. What do you got? Oh, there you go. You got
like that was
This
the
is
best
my
part
guy.
about 80s cartoons, right? Is we got really cool toys because of them. Like, I don't
right.
care that they were marketing to children. I don't care that it was a half-hour commercial for
Yeah,
me to
yeah.
want to buy He-Man toys or have my parents buy He-Man toys. We got such cool, like, look at that.
Yeah.
Such cool toys out of
And
it,
he
right?
opens up.
Nice.
Got the Horde Trooper.
And
This was my favorite He-Man figure growing up.
Nice. Yeah, I never had him. I think my cousins had a lot more than I did, but I had a few, and I say even having the tigers and everything, the panther, and you're like, oh man, they could ride this, get in the vehicles.
Well, and the bases, some of the vehicles, some of the
Right.
characters, Moss
yeah.
Man,
Mhm.
right? Like
And they're still
Stinkor
making
or whatever
those
it
toys
was
today. Stinkor that smelled like the skunk.
that smelled like the skunk.
Oh, I
Yeah.
had what was the one that you could suck up
Oh,
water,
I know what you're
with,
talking about.
right?
Yeah.
There's that one.
It's it's like a lizard. I forget his name.
Yes. So
Yeah.
I picked him up recently at a toy show, and I had kept them when we or at the condo. I kept them in the bathroom, just filled with.
Nice.
I was like, "Yo, put
Weird.
cologne in them."
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean the tie-in back and forth. I mean, I know we're talking cartoons, kind of diving in with the toys and stuff, but
hmm
I don't know, just the aesthetic of how they put it together, and I don't know, it's just like how it looks. It was exciting to watch He-Man kick some butt, and it was just so easy for him, I guess, to do it once he transformed.
And now we have all of the famous Skeletor memes.
Yep.
I went on a deep dive of those the other night, actually. Pretty funny.
Nice.
But the Horde was my favorite.
Your favorite? Okay.
So the whole Horde
She-Ra guy,
man.
eh?
Yeah, so the Horde was Hordak, what was it? The Beast Man,
Yep.
Mantenna,
Yeah.
the Horde Trooper, and also oh my god, his name is escaping me, but like the suction lizard
Oh,
guy.
I had him too. Yeah.
Those were all part of
Yeah.
the Horde, and we also had the slime pit.
Nice.
Just
So
cool.
the slime pit,
Yeah. We had He-Man, and then they came out with like She-Ra, Princess Power, that
Right.
we had all those connections with, right? And
Yep.
kept those two shows together. So we ended up getting like a nice. I don't even know if is it a spinoff. She-Ra is a spinoff, kind of
Yeah, kinda. It's because that's He-Man's sister, right?
and
Mhm.
sister, right?
I mean, it's in the same
Yeah.
universe, so
And they're filming the movie right now.
that's right.
Nice.
You're
The
gonna
new
get a live
movie's
action
coming out.
movie.
Yeah.
I was gonna say shout out to Pixel Dan. I picked up his book last year of all Masters of the Universe with the toys and everything. I was like thumbing through that. I was like, God, he's
Such a good
great.
book.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah. So He-Man.
He-Man. What else we got? 80s awesome toys.
Good. Bring it.
80s awesome cartoons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it said toys. My bad.
We're all gonna have toy lines.
Yeah. Go ahead, Keith. Oh no, it's me?
I don't know.
You're
whoever.
going. You're going. Back and
All
forth.
right, I'll go. I'm
Moving on.
trying not to make it too obvious, so I'm going to do the obvious ones first.
Good.
I know we had the Super Mario Super Show,
Okay.
but we're going to talk about the Legend of Zelda.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right.
The Legend of Zelda cartoon, and I believe the Legend of Zelda cartoon was only on Friday episodes
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
of the Super Show. But I mean, guys, what is there to say about this show? Is amazing. You got the "Excuse Me, Princess" every single episode.
Yeah.
You got to see how much of a weird creep Link was to Zelda.
So weird. Yeah.
Such a whiny adolescent, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Like, where did they come with that dynamic? Because it wasn't in the game. It's like you're trying to
No.
say. It's like,
Well, because
I
he
don't know.
didn't
he's like
speak
the
either. Yeah.
hero. Yeah.
Well, you know what's funny too is like looking back at it in retrospect is like Zelda was just a very independent woman then too, right? Like she held her own. So they kind of like they set that tone really early with the cartoon that she could handle herself. And then Link like moved into the castle and then was like his protector. There you go. But such a cool show.
Don't play that for
And
too
funny
long.
story, I might have mentioned this before in a previous
Don't play
podcast.
that for too long.
So I might have mentioned this in a previous podcast, but there's a scene I forgot. I think it might be like the 4th episode. I'll confirm this.
Okay.
But in one of the episodes, you can hear Link. I think he whistles or hums the Mario theme song.
Interesting. Okay. Like a little.
Yeah, I had
Meta.
it on in the background while I was in the office here, and I heard it, and I was like, was that just?" It was weird. Yeah, so I think there's like
I was like,
little
sometimes it
tie-ins.
might play
Yeah.
on my TV.
Yeah, it's great. So, yeah, Legend of Zelda. Shout Factory put out a DVD
Oh
of
yes.
all of the
box set.
episodes. So that is out of print, but it's not that expensive. I think you can get it for 25 or 30 bucks for the complete
Okay.
series. So look it up. Get the DVD.
You could watch
Great.
it on YouTube. I just brought
You
up.
could. Someone
Sure, yeah,
has
so.
the rights to everything Mario, Nintendo, Zelda, because I did a video talking about video game themed cartoons we had back then.
Yes.
And the
Mhm.
Mario Super Show and the Zelda, when I went to upload that video, all it was in the background while I was talking, just clips of the show. And I
Really?
got dinged immediately with copyright claims on my
Wow.
video, to the point that I had to re-edit the whole thing and put gameplay footage over top of it to cut it apart enough that I wasn't getting dinged, because there's one
Wow.
guy that has he has the rights to everything
Well, that's
Nintendo
what I'm
related
very
on
curious with,
YouTube.
because this is one person that uploaded this.
That Wild
Superheroes
Brian,
or whatever. Yeah.
he's got the rights to all of it. He can't use it at all for anything.
Wow.
I don't know how.
Odd. It must have went.
Yeah.
How did he score that? I don't know.
I don't know. Probably he's
Who knows?
lying.
And that's why you made the comment about don't play it too long.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
right.
That's So if
Wow.
you were just listening, that's why I made the comment, don't play that video for too long, because we'll get nailed.
Interesting. Well, there.
right.
There's one of my obvious ones is Legend of Zelda.
I went like side streets for my picks. If we're talking, you guys are going He-Man, Zelda, stuff like that. One little side street here. So let's see what I got on my list. The Raccoons.
What? Never
Raccoon.
heard of this.
What?
The
You've
raccoon. I
never
gotta look
heard
this
of the
up.
Raccoons?
No.
You gotta look it up.
Is that like a Chuck E. Cheese band?
No, it's not. It's about a family of raccoons that live in that's Cyril Sneer. He's the bad guy. He's trying to like industrialize the woods. He's got these pigs that are his.
I think I might remember this.
Wait, why do they look like snorkels?
I don't know. It's such a cool cartoon. I remember watching it Sunday mornings.
Wow.
It might be, I don't know, it might be Canadian. I'm not sure.
So it's a happy
Raccoons
cartoon.
with Bert. It
Oh,
is. Yeah.
that looks
That's
familiar.
Bert the raccoon. He's always in trouble. He's got a brother, and his brother has a girlfriend, I think.
Okay.
But just a fun, interesting 80s cartoon that apparently not a lot of people have heard of.
And they didn't
So-
have a toy line, huh?
That one did not have it probably did have toys, to be honest with you. I think it did. It just wasn't super
Interesting.
huge. 'Cause it was
Do you know
kind
how
of
long it
smaller.
ran for?
I'm not sure. No, I don't. I think a couple seasons, but maybe
Okay.
just one season. Because back then we'd have seasons that were like
Right, like
what
30
80
episodes. Yeah.
episodes long or something. Like you look at like a GI Joe series, and it's like, oh, episode 54, season 1. You're like, what the heck going on here? So I
So
picked
they
the
have-
raccoons.
They have plush raccoons.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
I just looked it up.
There,
They do have plushes.
there was a remaster resurgence thing that was going on here just recently that I did see, and you get shirts and stuff like that. But
Okay.
Keith, confirmation. Canadian show.
yay! That's why you
All
guys haven't
right.
seen it.
It is a Canadian show.
I almost feel like it looks somewhat familiar, so maybe
It
I
probably
would've
Hey,
got
you know what it
something wrong
reminds me
somewhere.
of? It reminds me of Shirt Tales. Do you remember Shirt Tales?
No.
No.
Like it had a digger and like. Go ahead, Google it. Shirt Tales, but that's what it reminds me of.
Okay.
I'm leaving it at that.
Fair enough.
Raccoons, that's cool, man. I'm gonna check that out.
Check it out for sure. It's a good one. Ross, back to you.
All right. Let's go with dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun,
Ooh,
dun. Inspector Gadget.
nice.
That's a
I
good one.
watched a ton of Inspector Gadget coming home from school or maybe Saturday morning. I don't know when the heck it was on. Just watching
well, I
it
know that Keith knows all about Inspector Gadget
That's
because it's
right,
one
that's
of
right.
his crushes.
with Penny.
I
Schmid-
feel like it was
Schmidless.
on all the time,
It might have
Like-
been.
but I feel like I only ever watched 3 episodes. Like,
Like
you guys have shows like that? You're like, oh yeah, Inspector Gadget. Like, oh yeah, the one with the dam.
Yeah.
There was like 2 others that I kind of vaguely remember. There had to have been 100 episodes.
They
Only
all were
remember a
pretty
few of
much
them.
like plug and play with the villain, right? Because it was always
Yeah.
the same shot
Dr.
of
Claw.
the villain, Dr. Claw.
Right,
and
and I
cat.
always feel like, when are we seeing this guy's face?
Right?
When is he
Yeah.
going to turn around? Always petting the cat.
And you had
Yeah,
the car
Claw.
that would turn into the jet,
That's right. Yeah.
right? Yeah. That's a
They
that's a
did
good one.
with the tie-in with there was a Dr. Claw toy, so you finally got to see what his face was because they had to sculpt something. So
Right.
then I think he was just like some old dude. It was like, oh, okay, cool. Kind of let down. Thought he was gonna be, who knows, disfigured or crazy looking. But the theme song, fantastic, and I don't know, just the dynamic with Penny and was it Brain? Was
Brain.
the dog, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Them doing a lot of the detective work and heavy
Yeah.
lifting with Inspector Gadget kind of clumsily helping out with all his cool gadgets.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And his
Definitely
cool car
enjoyed
too.
watching that one. Right. Yeah. Good stuff for sure with this and it said who knows how many episodes we actually saw.
Right?
Good show.
Absolutely good pick, Russ.
Nice.
So I'm gonna go with my next pick. I'm not going with the real Ghostbusters. I'm going
Okay.
with Filmation's Ghostbusters.
Oh, okay, because real Ghostbusters is the one with the monkey. Is this it, right?
That's the Filmation Ghostbusters.
Just straight up Ghostbusters.
Oh,
just
right.
straight
So
up
just Ghostbusters. It's the monkey
Yeah.
duo or whatever.
Yeah. So Filmation put out the original Ghostbusters cartoon, and that's why the real Ghostbusters needed to call the show Real
The real,
Ghostbusters,
right?
Yeah.
because it was based on the movie. But Filmation, if memory serves me correctly, was put out first.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
So really cool show. The coolest part, it had the best theme song.
Oh yeah, I'm not
I
going
don't
to
know if you-
show any of this.
No,
to
no,
get
no, but
immediate
but I
flag, but
don't.
I'll show
No, that's the
stills.
real Ghostbusters.
Oh right.
So Filmation. So look up Filmation Ghostbusters. It had like they would transform. But I wouldn't say transform, but like when they got dressed, they would go through this entire like carnival looking theme with like skulls and everything, and they go on a conveyor belt and get all of their gear on and stuff. And it just play, dude. The song still bops. Like it's such a good.
Climbing their Model T Ford and just off to because busting makes you feel good.
And so when they put out the toys for this, I don't know if you guys know about, but they did make a
Oh, here we
Ghostbusters
go.
house for the figures.
Okay.
If you could find that complete, that could run anywhere between $3,000 to $5,000.
Ooh,
Really?
It's
that one
that
there in the
rare.
background, eh?
Yeah,
This
right
right
there.
here.
That one right there.
Yeah.
We did see one at Chicago that was just kind of bare bones. Like I'm talking
Yeah.
like a shell. And you know, a shell of a Castle Grayskull goes for like $20. The shell alone for that house was $400.
Wow.
It's that rare. So I think I have a little bit more nostalgia for this one more than the real Ghostbusters.
Oh, okay.
But if you could yeah, like right here, I mean, it's basically the same thing, but if this is where, yeah, so this is where it goes into, see, so they go into the elevator,
That's
they
right.
get in their car. It's probably not going to show the whole thing, but there's a whole transformation that they go through, and it's a whole scene of how they like get dressed and everything. It's so cool. And the villains are cool. The toys are fairly inexpensive. If you get them carded, they go for more, obviously, but such a cool cast of characters in this one.
Nice.
And if you can find the DVDs,
Yeah.
they could range, I think the season 1, I think each season or how there's 2 volumes. I think they go for close to like $100 each because
Oh,
wow.
they're out of
That
print.
much.
Yeah. Yeah, so go for it. Go for Filmation Real Ghostbusters.
Filmation.
Hmm.
Nice.
All right. Let's see if we can throw you guys with this one too. Probably not. This is a pretty standard one, I think. The Adventures of Teddy Ruxpin.
Oh, okay.
That's a good one. It is. It was another one that I feel like I'd only ever seen like 3 episodes of growing up, but I did find it on like Prime or Paramount or something like that just recently, and I started watching it again, and it's a really cool concept for a cartoon.
What is the concept? Because I've seen it, but
So
I don't think I've ever watched an episode.
Teddy Ruxpin and Grubby are trying to find a treasure or something like that. And they got
Okay.
this map, and then they end up just kind of making friends with everybody except for this guy here. He does not like them. That's
This guy's just taking a rainbow bath.
the neighbor, right? But had the airship, like, it's a super cool. And again, toys connected to that. We had Teddy Ruxpin with the cassette tape inside of him.
Yes.
Cassette
Yep.
player inside of him, and you'd put the cassette in them, and you do the read-along books, and Teddy Ruxpin will be talking to you while you were going through your book with the Teddy Ruxpin stuffed animal. Because again, he had a cassette player in his guts.
Built into him.
You definitely weren't snuggling with them, but super cool, really cool concept, and a great cartoon series too from the 80s.
And if you had Grubby and Teddy Ruxpin, they talk to each other, right?
Yeah, they would, wouldn't they? Yep.
Yeah. And I think Keith said to me that he just saw my video of us going to the Imperial Castle. And in that video, you see we find a stack of Teddy Ruxpin books just chilling in the basement there. I never had a Teddy Ruxpin. I think Teddy Ruxpin might have been I might have been a little too old for Teddy Ruxpin when it came out.
Okay.
I don't know. but we're all the same age.
He was on.
are, yeah.
Funny enough, if you had watched, there was something on Netflix, one of those shows where it's like they do the background of toys, the toys that made us, I think was the name of the series, I believe, and Teddy Ruxpin was on there, and they give you a good history of that, of how it came out to be and everything.
Yeah. No, super cool toy, super cool cartoon again. You can find it.
What
It's
do we
on.
know? Do we know if the cartoon came out before the toy?
Hold on, I'm looking for it. I'm not finding it.
Because I don't really remember the cartoon as much as I do the toy.
See, I remember the cartoon over the toy.
Interesting.
Oh, okay.
And you could still find Teddy Ruxpins like all over the place at toy shows, and they're fairly
Yeah.
inexpensive. The Grubby's a little bit more because I think the Grubby's a little bit more rare, like a little bit more desired.
Right, I'm sure they had a ton more Teddy Ruxpin made. than
86. 1986 is when the Adventures of Teddy Ruxpin cartoon came out.
Okay.
I'm not sure when the toy came out, but I think it was probably a little bit before that for some reason.
Okay.
From some looking up I did at one point, but yeah.
Teddy
American
Ruxpin.
animated television series based on Teddy Ruxpin, the animatronic teddy bear created by Ken Forsey. So yes, the toy would have been before the cartoon series. So a little bit backwards
Okay.
than He-Man or G.I.
Yeah.
Joe or something like that.
Nice.
Cool.
Russ, back to you.
Well, let's see. We'll go with one of the obvious ones since David went that route. I'm going The Real Ghostbusters made my
Ooh.
list.
Nice. I like it.
Definitely
It's not a
classic
bad
for sure.
show. It's just,
I
I
mean,
wanted to go a little off topic.
Ghosts were big, right, in the 80s,
Mhm.
and again, they reeled you in with the cartoon, the toys, and everything on that, and maybe just watching the movie with my dad, and then having the cartoon series. You're like, oh, this is cool. Like, it definitely had some good stuff. And what's funny enough, when I worked at Retro Games Plus, we'd have TVs for display stuff. So a lot of times I would just put on background stuff. So I put on the Real Ghostbusters when I would come in for work, and it would be on there. So I ended up watching through the whole series at whatever, how many weeks it took.
That's a
But I
lot
was
of
like,
episodes.
some of the what's funny is later in the series they switched some voice actors,
Yeah.
and I was
Yes.
like, oh, what is this? It's totally different. Like, not just the Ghostbusters, I think Janine was also different as well.
Yeah, because Dave Coulier did Venkman.
Right.
Yeah, and I think I don't know, maybe something happened with that. I don't know.
But definitely the episode with the what is his name? The Halloween
The pumpkin guy.
Pumpkin King or Goblin or
Something
whatever.
like that. Yeah. Yeah. Jack the Pumpkin King.
There's some creepy episodes, right?
That was scary in the Boogeyman one.
The
terrifying.
Boogeyman one is absolutely
Like long
horrifying.
face and like, good God.
There was 140 episodes across 7 seasons.
Like, even the one where they go to the cousin's farmhouse and, like, the dead farmers are coming back as zombie ghosts
I remember
and,
that
like,
one.
trying to fight, like, zombie chickens and cows and stuff in it. We're watching that and be like, might be a little much for young playing
Right,
Mario Brothers
depending how
me,
young it's
right?
right.
But
Classic for
super
sure.
cool.
And
Yeah,
if not
great
for the
toys.
cartoon, we wouldn't have had the toys because the toys were based on the cartoon, not the original movie.
Yeah.
So we got
Right.
a lot of the ghosts that were in the cartoon. Um, and actually, you could buy the complete set of this on DVD to this day. And I think it's only like the whole set of 7 seasons, 140 episodes. It's only going to run you 25 or 30 bucks.
Yeah.
So it's not bad at all. And it comes in
Nice.
one complete bundle set. You can get it at Walmart. I think that's where I grabbed mine.
The Real Ghostbusters. There it is. Yeah. $28.95 on Amazon.
There you go. Pick it
Nice.
up. It's really cool to have in the background. I usually put it on the TV
Super
back
cool.
here while it's
Yeah.
playing. Yeah.
Mhm.
Very nice. All right. I'm gonna go with my next one. I actually have a copy of one of the tapes here. We're gonna go with My Pet Monster.
Okay.
So My Pet Monster had a cartoon. We've got on the cover of this, we've got Beaster and My Pet Monster right there. Yeah. And then he had his friend Max. I don't know, have you guys ever watched the My Pet Monster cartoons?
Yep. All the time. It used to be on, I feel like it was like every Saturday or Sunday morning it would be on. I'd
It's
sit down and
super
watch.
fun. I
Like
mean,
super
it's
early
more
too for some reason.
yeah, and it it's more of like a cutesy. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you can see it back there, but actually have there's a custom uh that was put out by Surreal Studios, I think, and partnered with Bull Airs, and they put out a My Pet Monsey. So that's what they call him is
Yeah.
Monsey in the cartoon version. This was put out by High Tops Video, and yeah, this is just super fun to kind of like pop in, and it's. I think they also had like a. I haven't watched it in quite some time, but I think there was like a song or a jingle or something that was incorporated with it. I don't know. Somebody blast me in the comments for not remembering being the My Pet Monster guy, but but yeah, super fun show. Uh, and then later on they had the movie as well. I don't know if you guys knew this, but did you know that there's a My Pet Monster movie?
Like animated movie? Mhm.
No,
Oh.
a live action movie.
Is that the one where it's like the dude is the monster and he's got like
The kid turns into
the
the monster.
yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a 60-minute straight. I actually have the VHS. No, I don't have the VHS for that. I'm confusing it with the Garbage Pail Kids movie, but the My Pet Monster movie, I still don't own it. It's 60 minutes.
Okay.
It's weird. It's a straight to video home movie, and yeah, if you ever get a chance, I think you can watch it on YouTube
Mhm.
or at least watch the trailer. It's pretty wild. This kid like transforms into. Oh, do you see it? Yeah, throw that up. There it is.
Yeah.
So there is the kid. He turns into the My Pet Monster. There he is.
He's huge. It's 48 minutes, yeah. It's up
48
on
minutes.
YouTube.
It's just a kid dressed up as the monster.
Okay.
So there you go. I forget the whole
Interesting.
premise of what happens of like why he becomes the monster, but it's pretty wild.
Nice.
So yeah, My Pet Monster. That's a fun one. It's a, like it's kind of like a cutesy. Uh, you know, it wasn't made for like older kids or anything like that.
Yeah.
So going with that for my next pick.
Nice.
Oh, and there's only 13 episodes.
Oh, so you can bang it out in a day.
Blast
There
through
you
it,
go.
right?
13 episodes.
All right, I'm gonna stick with 1986 and Dennis the Menace.
Oh, okay.
What I'm
Okay. I
picking.
watched this one. Yeah.
Right? Do you remember the look of Dennis with that blonde hair and the red
Yes.
overalls? This-
That was
I
like
didn't realize
iconic.
that
That was it. Yeah.
I didn't realize that was that early, like 86.
86, yeah.
I feel like I
And
saw
again,
that like in the early 90s.
and well, it would have just played over again. A lot of these early morning cartoons, I feel like, they just played them forever and ever and ever, right? Like
It's a good one. I remember watching
based
that
on
one.
the comic strip, then we had the cartoon. Dennis the Menace always getting in trouble.
Right. Yep.
And we had, I mean, there's some pretty good movies. There's the 90s Dennis the Menace movie that is pretty good. It's one of my favorite
With Walter Matthau.
90s with Walter Matthau. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And do you
That's a
guys
great one.
remember what they how did they not make a video game out of this? Or did they?
I think there is maybe a later one, maybe based on the movie.
Okay.
Yeah, there is one based on the movie. There's a Super Nintendo one based on the movie because I just actually got that in a Retro Games treasure box last month.
I
But
feel they could
don't-
have
Yeah, it's not a
modeled this
movie.
after like a Home Alone video game.
right?
I mean, even
Right?
those were so. Like, I felt like those
Mm.
probably could have been.
So is a stretch rush. Those are pretty bad.
I streamed one, but we didn't get too far.
Do you guys remember watching the earlier Dennis the Menace, like before the cartoon? Wasn't there like another TV
Like a black and
show?
white TV
The
show,
black and white, right?
Yeah,
Probably
It's
was.
on
Yeah.
Nickelodeon.
right. But I definitely
Hmm.
remember this one like standing out for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one. I haven't thought about that
Right?
in a minute. Yeah.
I know. Like just talking about these 80s cartoons and this one popped up. I was like, that is a blast from the past right there.
Hey, Mr. Wilson.
Right? That kid's a menace.
Yeah, it's a good one. I don't think I ever
All
saw
right,
the
Russ.
actual movie though.
It's great. It's great.
We got Russ.
It's got Christopher Lloyd in it.
Oh
The
right.
movie?
Yeah.
Let's
He's
What
see.
did he play?
He is the homeless guy or the drifter.
Oh, right.
He the kid's got he's like apple and he scoops it with
Yes.
Right.
the jackknife.
Switchblade Sam.
Switchblade
feel like-
Sam. Yeah.
I feel that just popped up in like my reels, like randomly, and they were talking about how creepy he was in that movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Filling full of
Yeah.
beans under the bridge.
Yeah. Nice.
All right, Russ,
Yes.
what do you got
yes.
for us?
What about Voltron?
Oh, nice.
Gotta love big space robots.
Voltron's a good one.
Definitely.
Did you guys
a fun
have
one.
the toys for that too?
Oh, I wanted it. All I had was the green one. I was able to get the green one. My cousins had all of them to assemble
Yes.
Voltron, and I was like, "Oh, this is so cool! I wish I could play with this." But the best I have is watching the cartoon. Now, I probably didn't watch it in enough sessions to really get the story going like through because of how how long everything is. You probably got an episode here, skipped a
Mhm.
whatever couple days and kind of bounced around, but just seeing the lions and everything come together to form Voltron was awesome as a kid. And then again with the toys, you're like, oh, this is great, and you could freaking assemble it up into this big hunk of guy.
Yeah.
So awesome. And it I feel like was this the art style that it was in, I feel is almost 70s and reminiscent of that rather than more 80s stuff. But let's see. Voltron cartoon. Defender of the Universe.
I mean, it's from 1984,
Right.
so it is, early 80s.
I mean, you probably got a lot of Robotech influence as
Mhm.
well. Any of those big mech type robots. It's freaking sweet. He's got the sword, it comes out. We're like, oh man, this is awesome.
And they just
I don't-
re-released some Voltron toys.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, you can find them at Target now.
I don't think I ever saw this one on TV here.
Yeah, I mean
Oh,
their
really?
outfits are so sweet. They
No.
did do a recent Voltron, which I don't know how many. It got a few seasons for sure. This was maybe, I don't know, 5 years ago or so that they did like a reboot of it, and it was really good. I was enjoying following that. So, but I'd like to go back and maybe check this series out again. I don't know how many seasons it had.
So it had 3 seasons and 124 episodes.
Okay,
So
like we
that's
said,
quite a
those
bit of episodes.
I was like those crazy long seasons. We were like season 1, 60 episodes.
Yeah,
Season
right.
2, 30, and then it's like season 3. We'll just do as many as we can till we get.
And they do
canceled.
have this. You could definitely buy the full set at Walmart. So they do have that currently in stores that you can buy.
What are we sponsored by Walmart here?
No, I'm just saying, man, because
Get your DVDs
you
at
know
Walmart.
why?
Yet.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because that's what with the CRT. It's cool to play the VHS, but it's just so easy and convenient to get the DVDs. So I've been buying up like 80s cartoon DVD sets just to have on in the background because you also don't have to get up. You don't have to switch out the tapes every so often. It's just easier to have the DVDs. So I've been always looking.
I want to say, why do
for
you always
DVD
prefer
sets.
Walmart over other stores?
Because usually Walmart carries them. I mean, Target doesn't carry DVDs
Okay.
anymore.
Or you're physically going there and getting them, or you're ordering them
Yeah.
on?
No, I'm physically going there.
I
Yeah.
see. I see. Okay.
The one that I can't understand though, for the life of me, is Captain Planet, because
Okay.
the Captain Planet DVD set is like 80 or 90 bucks. And I'm like, I can't justify 80 or 90 bucks for Captain Planet, but I did just buy for like 30 bucks the complete set of ThunderCats.
Okay.
So I guess we could just roll into ThunderCats.
Thunder.
Do it up.
Thundercats.
See that little
Thundercats
transition?
on the loose.
Nice segue.
That was a good segue. I like that. So I did just pick up ThunderCats. Man, was Lion-O a little whiny brat.
Well, he's a little boy.
I know. But I haven't watched
Essentially.
it in so long
Yeah.
that I forgot.
Oh, okay.
And so when I'm watching the first few episodes, because they don't really explain it in the first episode, you have to
True.
watch like the second or third episode until they actually explain, you know, the whole origin of the Thundercats. But so you're watching the first episode, and I haven't watched it in years, like probably since the 80s. And I popped it in, and I was like, man, Lion-O is really whiny. And it's, yeah, you just they don't explain it until 2 or 3 episodes in. So I still have my original Mumra
Oh,
figure.
nice.
The toys were awesome.
Yeah.
But look at this. I mean, how rad is this?
Oh, yeah.
So
And
The
good.
even, I
figures-
mean, Mumra being super scary for like a kid's show.
Yeah.
Yep. So many cool characters. You got Snarf there. Yeah, I mean, it's basically He-Man in the form of cats.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the vehicles and everything very similar.
Yeah.
Even some of the bad guys.
And let's see how long, let's see. What did ThunderCats
Some of the
run?
villain toys were
Yeah.
super
Oh, yeah.
cool too, right?
Oh yeah.
Like that the lizard guy or whatever. That's a super cool looking sculpt for a toy, right?
Oh,
Like,
I actually have him right here.
oh,
He could go good with the suction cup guy from He-Man.
absolutely.
This guy right here.
Yeah.
Like, look at that.
Yeah, the molds on these things are insane.
Like, that's awesome.
Yeah. And then I think he's got the little button on the back, and you can, yeah, he's got like kung
Classic
fu action.
Punching action on toys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So he's the bushwhackers.
Yeah, these are cool toys. I still do have my original Mumra as well from when I was a kid. So this ran, actually there's a few different series. There's the 85 to 89, there's the 2011 to 2012, and then there was also one
was
in
super good.
2020.
Oh wow. Yep.
And
Oh, that
actually,
was like super cartoony. That was like
Was that
Dexter's
Thundercats
Lab
Go or something?
cartoony, right? Yeah.
I think it was like an anime, right?
Yeah.
No,
it
there was
super-
like it's like Powerpuff Girls or
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
And there
Thundercats
also
Go, you're
is
right, I think.
2 video games. Did you guys know that there's a Thundercats video game?
And the DS, yeah.
So there's also one on the Atari, the Amiga, the Commodore 64. And then those all came out in 87, but Nintendo never got one. Oh yeah, there it is. Thundercats Roar.
I thought it was
Yep.
called Thundercats
That
Go.
one.
Roar.
Yeah.
And then in 2012 it came out for, like Russ said, the DS.
That
But they also have like a
2000s
ton of
cartoon
comics.
is awesome.
Yeah. Russ, we can mention our buddy Tom Ryan again. Tom Ryan actually did a variant cover for a Thundercats #1 issue. Obviously, like that was released a few years ago, I think.
Yeah. I have it somewhere. I bought it.
I have a stack over there.
Cool.
But yeah, you got Lion-O, Panthro, Chitara, Tigra, Snarf, Jackalman, I guess was his name. But yeah, comics, video game. There was a board game. So it was another one of those cartoons that just cashed in. And their
Yeah.
Super 7 puts out some really cool Thundercats toys today.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
iconic.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there it is. There's the cover. So that's the cover
That's
that
cool.
our buddy Tom Ryan did.
Nice.
As you know, Tom Ryan also did my logo here. and then he did all of Russ's Mario Kart decals.
Yeah.
Very talented.
Yeah. So ThunderCats.
Nice.
Oh,
Well, I guess I'll have to maybe swing back. Maybe I'll come off the side streets of 80s cartoons and come to something that's a little more mainstream because I guess like the pizza guy's got like 30 seconds, man. Gotta go Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
is
Gotta
a
bring it into
classic.
the conversation, right?
Yeah.
Like, so cool. Such a great cartoon. Steered very differently than the comic books. The original comic books were a lot darker, but
Mhm.
that cartoon, like, both you guys, just for a second, just close your eyes. Can you hear the theme song in your head when you think about it? That start
Just
where it's like,
seeing the sewer.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's so good, right? Like such a good cartoon, and went all over the place with it. They went like we had I mean, like episode one, they had the characters from space and the flying cars or whatever there. Is that like episode one in it? And
Oh, I
then the
don't think that's
rock
episode 1.
guys are
The
showing up.
neutrinos?
Yeah, the neutrinos. It's pretty
Yeah.
early in the series.
Check this out.
It's
Where's
Sitting
it
right next to me.
Oh,
yeah,
Little carded neutrino. It's such a cool figure. Like this is one of those figures that like I wanted to have on card. I got this years ago though, but like yeah, all the characters.
like
So
you
many
think about
figures.
the toys that came from that cartoon line, right? Like the different versions of the turtles. There was so many of them, like football Leonardo, baseball Raphael, right?
Yeah.
They would come
right,
with the
right.
weapons.
Oh yeah.
Like so many cool characters.
Like I think just seeing the new villains come up, like watching the cartoon,
Yeah.
and then you knew there's going to be a toy, right?
Yeah,
For this,
yeah.
like seeing like, what was his name?
Yeah.
Wingbat, and
Wingnut and
Wingnut
Screw Loose.
and Screw
Wing Nut and
Loose.
Screw
Like
Loose. Yeah.
I had to get those. Like they were cool.
Yeah.
The what was the rat,
There
the
he
mole
is.
or mole? Yes, yeah, yeah.
Nice.
I still have mine.
Wingnut and Screw Loose.
Like such cool again, another cartoon that was just selling us kids toys
That's it. I
and we were lapping it up, absolutely loving it, right? Like
mean, Turtle
so
Mania was
oh,
just taking
This-
it
over.
was crazy.
This is my
That
favorite.
manta ray.
Stingray, something or yeah.
Ray Fillet.
Yeah.
And
guys
and
have
when you put him in water, his chest color changes.
Nice.
Nice. There was a beetle too. I had a beetle guy with like the yellow
Scumbag.
antenna.
Yes.
Yeah, Scumbag. That was super.
Fantastic.
Mondo Gecko with the skateboard with like the engine on the
Got
back.
him. Ah, there he
Oh,
is.
I have all of these guys just sitting on my arcade cabinet.
right? Like there's so many cool toys that came from such a right? It's that punk rock Donatello. Like we'll
Yeah.
just take Donatello and we'll dress him up differently, and there you go. Another toy from the cartoon series that y'all are watching every weekday afternoon.
Did you
Teenage
ever
Mutant Ninja Turtles.
try any of the pizzas that they put together? Like,
No,
in the show?
I didn't.
With like, the
Oh,
crazy
oh,
toppings
yeah,
they
yeah,
got,
yeah.
and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna freaking try one of
I
those.
did
anchovies
recently see a
marshmallow.
YouTube video where a newscast was talking to a gal and she like lived Ninja Turtles. That was all she ate
Yes.
was
Yes.
pizza. And she would like
Mhm.
make the pizzas with what they had on them in the movies and cartoons. And that was all she did. She had like the heads from the original movies and stuff like that. Like some
Oh,
people
wow.
are
I think I've
super,
seen
super,
it. Yeah,
super
yeah.
addicted into this, right? But great cartoon. One that I loved back in the day.
I mean, probably all-time favorite, right? I mean,
For a lot of people.
yeah. I mean, I live and breathe. I have all 4 turtles tattooed on my leg. Like
Exactly.
I was a turtles guy, and
And I feel like you can tell a lot about a person by their favorite turtle.
okay, So have at
Right.
it.
We've talked about that.
I feel like
No.
I know Keith's.
I feel
Keith,
like I know David's.
I think mine and
I
yours
feel
are
like mine just changes.
I think mine and yours, Keith, is Donatello.
I'm not Donatello, no.
Okay. Well, I am Donatello.
Yep.
Okay.
I've always been Leonardo guy.
Oh yeah,
Leo.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel
What
like
about,
Russ?
Mikey.
Mikey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Your sleeveless shirts, yeah, you rebel.
That tracks.
Like it's funny, like my friend group, my three other buddies, me and my three other buddies, like we're totally, it's like you can just pick us out and we fit perfectly because of personalities, right?
Mhm.
Like I'm a Leonardo guy. I've got my buddy Ron. He's totally the Donatello type. Our buddy
Yeah.
John, he's like that hot-headed Raphael. And then our buddy Kyle is just like this chill Michelangelo guy. Just, I don't know, just works for some reason with the personalities they gave those turtles.
And now Donatello looks more like me because he wears black frame glasses.
Right?
That's true. Yeah, no. All
And
the renditions
Donatello
they've done.
Donatello is now Kylie's favorite, but because he's purple.
Oh,
Nice.
okay.
So purple's her favorite color.
All right, Ross, what you got for
turtles.
us?
We can have a whole episode on turtles.
Exactly.
I gotta go to the back streets. Take a
Perfect.
turn off, and I watched this cartoon a bunch growing up. It's been a minute since I seen it, but that's none other than the Smurfs. You guys
Oh,
remember watching
Nice.
the Smurfs back in the day? I'll pull up a little bit of the
there's a new movie coming out
intro
too.
here. Oh yeah,
Yeah, new it's like a CGI animated well not CGI, but like one of those like new animation type movies.
yeah. I don't know, just something about the Smurfs was fun. That they're so small and living in out in the woods and all that
Smurfville.
Smurfland or whatever. Yeah, the quirkiness of it. And I remember getting the like the figures that are just like
Mhm.
PVC or whatever, like
Yep.
tight whatever. Them just it was Dave got some pocketed
got
it
some.
out.
I literally
What?
just picked this up at the flea market.
The
Oh,
Gargamel.
okay. I've never had him.
So wait a minute.
Oh, with the cat.
With the cat.
Wow.
Astra or something like
Apparently,
that? What's the cat's name?
Gargamel and oh man, it's escaping me right now. But I found these on a guy's
Those are
table
cool.
and I didn't realize, but I think the cat alone goes for like $20.
Nice.
There he is.
It's crazy. Yeah, there you go. What is the cat's name?
Azrael, is that it?
Azrael. That's it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. But yeah,
Super
no.
cool. I used to have one of the houses that like you had like the bottom that was
Oh,
like
okay.
the white mushroom base, and the
Yep.
door would pop in and the windows would pop in, and then the top of mine was blue. You take the
Mhm.
top off, you put your Smurfs in there.
Watch out, because there's going to be a ton of Smurf toys coming out soon with that new movie coming out.
Yeah.
I saw the trailer for it, and it didn't look. It doesn't seem like it's going to be. I don't know.
I feel like
I
the
think-
Smurf movies are always just ever so slightly mailed in,
Yeah.
right?
I think because one of the Smurfs. Is it 2025? It's coming out. Let me see here. Yeah, Smurfs 2025. Um, it's got Rihanna is Smurfette.
Mm,
And John Goodman is Papa Smurf.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of like an interesting cast. And the Grand Schrumpf, I don't know who he is in the Smurf. I thought he was like he's like an older guy. He's played by Nick Offerman because when I watched the trailer,
Oh.
I immediately recognized his voice and I'm like, this
Yeah.
sounds weird for a Smurf. But yeah,
Hmm.
the Smurfs and the new Smurf movie is basically like the Trolls movie, but with Smurfs. So it's like
Okay.
all musical and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So-
I don't see Smurfs that way.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, this series came out 81 and ran till 1990.
yeah.
Wow.
258 episodes.
I feel like that's not a lot for that amount of time with the way they spit out episodes back in the 80s.
Right, right.
Just hammering them out.
But yeah,
So many. I want to know how many Smurf figures there are because there's a ton.
Tons and tons and tons.
I bet so. But yeah, it's a classic one.
Yeah.
I got to throw it on there.
Are you guys how many of you guys all picked?
That was it for
You-
me.
That was it for
Yeah,
you.
I think we're.
Keith,
Yeah, I'm at 4.
you're at 4. Keith, I want you to go first because I'm gonna finish up with a small little list that I came up with.
Okay, well, I guess since it wasn't talked about, we'll go with GI Joes
Yeah, yeah.
because it's
Classic one
GI
for sure.
Joes, right?
Yeah.
Awesome cartoon, that military troop, GI Joes. So many cool toys came from it. Again, I feel like we turn back to the toys a lot when we talk about these cartoons from the 80s. GI Joes is one of them. Tons of toys, tons and tons and tons of episodes. There's still cartoons of the GI Joes coming out today. So GI Joes is a classic. One that I
And you
think-
got some helpful tips at the end of each episode.
Right?
Of how
Every
how to be a
time there
better
was an
person or
awesome tip, right?
little
Hey, just remember
PSA.
to do this. Don't do what Billy does. Do what Joey does, and don't
Mhm.
do schmugs.
I was never a GI Joe guy. I don't think I ever watched one episode or owned one figure.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
I did. I remember
Yeah,
watching the
I was
Sergeant
really into it.
Slaughter movie one
Well, yes.
back in
Yeah.
the day.
Um,
right, what do you
but
got for us, David?
also they had tips at the end of He-Man as well.
They sure
Oh,
did.
Man at
Yeah.
Arms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pullback.
So for my last pick, I kind of went off on like a deep dive on some stuff, and I put together a list of I think it's like 9 cartoons that were all based on movies. So like a movie came out followed by a cartoon series, and some of these I totally either forgot about or didn't even know existed. So you guys tell me if you remember any of these.
All right.
Back in let's go back as early as we can. So back in 86, there was a Rambo cartoon.
Yeah.
I did
Okay.
not know that there was a Rambo cartoon.
And cool
Also,
toys too.
yes, and also, I mean, obviously, also in '86 we had the real Ghostbusters, so we know
Yeah.
that. In 1986, Teen Wolf
Oh,
had a cartoon.
yeah. I don't think I remember that one.
I did not know that Teen Wolf had a cartoon. And then in '88, we had the RoboCop cartoon.
Right.
Yep.
In '88, we also had the Beetlejuice cartoon, which we
Yes,
saw
yeah.
the commercial
great.
for
One.
before.
Yeah.
'88, we also had Police Academy cartoon,
Right.
Yep.
which was a
Remember
great
seeing that.
one and such a great toy line as well.
Yes.
Uh, actually, the police station toy is actually modeled after. It's the same mold as the Ghostbuster Firehouse. I
Yeah.
don't know if you guys knew that. And then let's see, that's '88. In '89, I didn't know that this was a thing. There's a Karate Kid cartoon.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't remember that either.
I don't
Okay.
remember that one. So in '89, they had Karate Kid. And then jumping into 1990, I know we're not going, I'm only going up to 91, but in 1990, they had Bill and Ted
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
as a
remember that.
cartoon. And then in 91, Russ, what other movie had a cartoon in 91?
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
Yeah.
So a lot of movies around that time had a cartoon coming out for, but that Teen Wolf one, man, I'm gonna look that one up, and the Karate Kid,
That could be cool.
because
Yeah.
I don't remember them at all.
Hmm.
So I just wanted to kind of give that list because I thought
Little
that was
quick highlight.
interesting. Yeah, I think that's a little interesting that
No, for sure. That's cool.
there's so many cartoons from the '80s and like
Right,
into
so
the early
This
90s.
was just
that are-
a small list that kind of jogged our memory a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we could go on and on, certainly, about so many
Mhm.
great cartoons from the 80s.
Because then you also had, like, once you got into the '90s, the early '90s, you had the Disney Afternoon,
Right, with other classics, for
like
sure.
Gummy
Yeah.
Bears and DuckTales and
Mm-hmm.
all those. So,
Rescue Rangers and
so
Tailspin. And
oh my God,
Yeah.
Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing Duck. That's another episode for another time.
All together.
Yeah. Oh, actually, that reminds me though. I'll tell you guys a quick story that my brother just told me this week. My brother just introduced a TV show to my nephew. He is 7 years old, and he just introduced him to. Do you guys remember the show on Nickelodeon? You Can't Do That on Television.
Yeah.
So they're watching You Can't Do That on Television, and there's some things in there that like we can't believe as kids that we watched.
Okay.
So he doesn't know how to explain the firing squad to him.
That's right. It's been a while since I've seen that
Do you
show.
remember
I'd like to
that?
watch one. Yeah.
Yeah.
We watched this stuff as kids at his age.
Yeah.
How did our parents let us watch this?
I mean, I don't know. It's made sense.
Like the firing squad
Yeah.
on a kid's. I'm just gonna. So let's end it at that, guys. Like we had some wild stuff growing up in the 80s.
We sure
I
did.
missed
Yeah.
the 80s.
And,
I wish
look,
the 80s
we all
come
turned
back.
out fine. All right.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Kind of.
We're spending our Wednesday nights recording a podcast remotely and talking about how awesome our childhood was. So our parents did something right.
Yeah, cartoons are fun. Let's see. I do have a voicemail we can get to if you guys want to jump into
Hear it.
voicemail. We have one
No,
voicemail.
I don't want to hear it. No.
949-682-9277. You can leave us a voicemail on the show. We'll play it.
I keep dreaming about my dream phone.
It's for you.
What is up, my weekly war pipers? It's your boy NES Addict calling. I was gonna call and say, man, picking a favorite cartoon series from the 80s is freaking tough. My mind takes me instantly to G.I. Joe, Transformers, and the late 80s Ninja Turtles. Man, I'm gonna base this off what I had the most toys of, and I had the most toys of G.I. Joe. So let's say G.I. Joe is the one I'm keeping, or picking as top honors. Also, you can watch that on Hasbro's YouTube channel. It pretty much streams all day long.
That's right.
And do yourself a favor and listen to Bruce Hornsby's. Bruce Hornsby. That's just the way it is. Incredible song. Gives you all the feels. The piano's incredible. All right, guys. Take care.
Sweet.
Nice.
Thanks
He
for
is
calling
making
in, Jay.
he is sending me the updated playlist. So
Good. And we'll link it in the description.
Yes, we'll link that soon.
And then I'll make it as a YouTube playlist as well with the videos.
Perfect.
We'll link it up. Nice. Hey guys, Future Russ here. So we recorded this episode a little bit early because Dave's on vacation. So we did get a voicemail, and I did want to showcase that because it has to do with the topic of cartoons. If you guys do want to call into the show, you certainly can. The phone number is 949-682-9277. That's 949-682-WARP. Save it in your phone. And if something sparks your interest, you could call into the show and leave us a voice message. Let's get to it here.
I keep dreaming about my dream phone.
It's for you.
Hey, this is Scott, also another bald nerd or brass processing on Instagram. Just wanted to call and chime in on the topic of cartoons. I was born in '84, so a lot of the early '80s cartoons just kind of never got to me. Like I never really watched Masters of the Universe until a lot later. But I did manage to like catch reruns of ThunderCats, so that was fun.
Nice.
But again, being born in '84, I was watching like Muppet Babies.
Yes.
My mom always had on like Care Bears. My sister was born in '85, so I would catch the original My Little Pony cartoon. But towards the end of the '80s, we had things like Ninja Turtles came out, so that was huge for me. I was a huge Ninja Turtles kid. I love the Turtles. But DuckTales, I think Rescue Rangers, I think came out at the end of the '80s as well. So I mean, the '80s had no shortage of great cartoons. I remember also watching Snorks. I don't remember if Gummy Bears came out in the '80s, but I think it's around that
Great theme
time
song.
frame. But lots of great shows. Also, the '80s was a time they were doing all the reruns of Jetsons and Flintstones. So those classics were also on in the background and stuff when I was a kid. So, yeah, lots of great shows, and they're all still fun to go back to and watch and share with the kids. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Absolutely. Hey, thanks for calling in. Certainly, there was a ton of cartoons we couldn't mention in this episode, but it was great. We could showcase a little bit and hear from you guys which ones you enjoyed watching. All right, let's get back to the episode. We're going to jump over to the Wheel of Doom, where we pick a topic by spinning a wheel that lands on a random topic, and then we're going to chat about it real quick. Wheel of Doom, baby. We're getting low on topics, so give us some suggestions. Wheel of Doom. Let's shuffle, 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 and spin. What are we getting tonight? Something with Super Nintendo.
Okay.
Yes, the answer is yes.
Was Super Nintendo better than
Yes.
Sega Genesis?
The answer is yes. We're
No.
done. That was
No.
Wheel of Doom.
The answer is no.
Thanks for joining us.
No.
No, come on.
I was just thinking about this the other day, actually,
you?
and that I really was. I was actually, I didn't know that it was on the wheel, and I was going to suggest it. I was a Genesis guy.
Okay.
Like, I was a Genesis kid growing up. My neighbor had the Super Nintendo. Yeah, and even playing it over his house, I preferred the Sega Genesis. I don't know why.
Playing the
Like,
Super Nintendo over his house, and then you preferred.
no, well, I preferred the Genesis over the Super Nintendo.
Okay.
Like when I would, yes, I would play the Super Nintendo at his house, and then I had the Genesis. And I just think that the games, the graphics, it was more a little. I mean, maybe because it was a later, maybe I was a little older, so I kind of like gravitated towards the graphics a little bit more. They were a little bit more realistic.
Right.
The games were a little bit older generation. Mortal Kombat had the blood.
Yeah.
So there was kind of like, I don't know. It just, Streets of Rage. I mean, there's that's another game that like I just latched onto, and I just feel like for me personally, I preferred playing Sonic the Hedgehog
Okay.
over the Mario, Super Mario World. I mean, as I know it's blasphemy, but like,
That's how your
even
childhood
today,
was.
that's just the way I grew up, and I remember the Sega Genesis was the first console that I purchased with my own money growing up when I used to work at Toys R Us. And yeah, I think, in my opinion, I prefer the Sega Genesis.
Okay.
Now it's not a rat or bogus, so we're not throwing it away.
Yeah.
No. But I prefer it.
The opposite of David, where I had the Super Nintendo and I went to my neighbor's house to play the Sega Genesis there. And then even to put that further, the neighbor next to us there, he was the first to get Sega CD. So then we were checking that out at his house. So, I got to put a few hours in it. And then, I'm only limited to what games he got. So we did play, Sonic. We had X-Men, which we couldn't get very far in. So I didn't get any of the like Streets of Rage. He never rented that, so we didn't get to experience that. But going over my friend Sal's house, usually for the weekend, he had Super Nintendo. So we were playing a lot of Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past, Secret of Mana, Final Fantasy 3, Super Metroid, Chrono Trigger, like just so many big titles that had lasting impressions on me. And I was like, I need to get these games and experience these games.
Seems like Super Nintendo had a lot more adventure games.
Yeah, I'd say so. Because if you compare, like Streets of Rage was on Sega, and we got Final Fight was kind of close, right?
Right.
Yeah. They were. It depends on kind of who you were in that time frame, what mindset you were in. I think because like we had both in my house. Like I had the Super Nintendo, and I had tons of games for Super Nintendo. And my sister had the Genesis. We had a few games for that, but it wasn't something that either one of us really gravitated to. I like you're saying, Russ, like there's tons of RPGs on the Super Nintendo, tons of like really great action platformers, even action adventure games that you're saying like Legend of Zelda, the kind of the clones to that. But when I think about the Genesis, there was a lot of, I think, like fighters, yeah, action, like those platformer action ones, stuff like that. But not a ton of RPGs, if I'm thinking correctly here. Sure, there is.
With Sega Genesis.
Sega Genesis, yeah, right.
Elisa Dragoon, right? Was that one?
Yeah. Like,
Um,
I
Fantasy
feel like it
Star.
was, yeah, I feel like it's like
There's a
David's saying,
few.
like, if you were starting to get up there and you weren't as kiddie anymore, you were starting
Yeah.
to become a young adult and you wanted to be, cool and hip and start being an adult.
Yeah.
Genesis was gearing towards that. Well, the Super Nintendo was just putting out good games and being what it was, not trying to be that cool kid that Sega Genesis was trying to be, right? So, like, it depends on where you were, your personality at the time.
I also think with Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo had similar like the same games for each, but like let's talk about Aladdin. Aladdin was a better game on Sega Genesis in my opinion. It had the sword. You couldn't have the
Right.
sword on Super Nintendo,
Mhm.
so they
Yeah, to
catered it
throw
more
apples. Yeah.
towards kids. Um and the Super Nintendo version was a lot more platforming
Mhm.
than the Sega Genesis version. And then there was another game that I was just thinking about.
Was
Oh,
it NHL 94? 'Cause the
NHL
NHL
94.
94 version on the Super Nintendo is better than
No. What?
yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
What?
Oh, yeah, it is.
What?
Mortal Kombat 2 is a
Okay.
better arcade to home console
For
game
Super Nintendo.
on the Super Nintendo. It does have blood, it does have fatality.
On Super Nintendo.
It does. It's Mortal Kombat 2.
Don't you need you don't need a blood code on Super Nintendo?
You
I thought you needed the blood code on Super Nintendo and
you
then
might, but you can still get it.
yes, but Sega Genesis, no blood code. It just had
No, they
blood.
never needed it. Yeah.
Right. So if you were like a little older, I like
Mhm.
Keith said, I think
Yep.
my opinion, I vote Sega Genesis.
And it's okay to be wrong sometimes. It is, David. I'm Super Nintendo guy. I'm a Nintendo guy, so I'm saying Super Nintendo.
I
But
am
I
too. I
do
mean, you see, I mean, look, I got
I am
Mario
getting
right
into
here.
Genesis games, and there's some cool ones for sure.
I
So
mean,
can't
what
say
is
for sure.
this? I got Mario right on my arm.
Right, and then you're flying the Sonic the Hedgehog flag.
Well,
It's a good debate.
Yeah.
Give us some topics. We'll add some controversial topics to this Wheel of Doom to keep it interesting. All right, that wraps up this week's weekly Warp Pipe. Hopefully, we got you back into the nostalgia there, thinking about some 80s cartoons you haven't seen, and maybe you want to go back, pick up the DVDs at Walmart, go there physically and grab them, or maybe just stream them here on YouTube. And you can check us out next week as well. We'll jump into our reminder for the weekly Warpipe rental. We're doing Fighting Force on the N64. So grab that game for the weekend, give it a rental, and then next week's topic, David Scott.
Yeah, so next week we have a special guest. You guys are following all of these retro gamers on YouTube, you might recognize, I would say she's kind of an OG, right, Russ?
Yeah, I mean she's been on there for quite some
Quite
time for
some
sure.
time. She's a great friend. We're talking about Brandy, aka Gamer Aimer. So if you guys do not know Brandy, you
Quite
need
the
to know
collection.
Brandy.
Right?
Quite the collection. Collects everything. So
Absolutely.
she's really, especially nowadays, getting into some kiosks. She has a specific item that I'll let her talk about next week. That's insane. She's been offered insane amounts of money for, and I know she's turned it down because it's crazy that she'll never find another one. But she has a amazing collection. So next week we're going to be talking about basically collecting everything. Oh, there's no, that's Gargamel.
I was like, why is this here? We were watching Smurfs before. But...
So there is Gamer Aimer. Check her out on her YouTube channel. She's got a ton of content she's posting all the time. She posts a bunch of shorts as well when she goes thrifting.
Mhm.
I don't know how she finds the things that she finds.
Lucky for sure. Great channel. Such a sweetheart too. Such a great person to be around and visit with. So I'm really excited to have her on and get to see what she's got.
Yeah.
Talk about some stuff and check out the game she's picked for us.
And if you guys like everything collecting, this is one. Yeah, you want to hear from Brandy, because Brandy's the oh man, it's the mecca of game history in her house.
Perfect.
It's insane.
Also, hey, we want to give a quick shout out to our channel member, The Wizard J, here on YouTube. You can sign up to be a channel member to support the show. We have $1 tier or $3 a tier, so you can get a shout out and you can get some inside scoops on what we're working on. We got private live streams, a whole bunch of goodies. So head over to YouTube, check out the community page, and you can sign up there. Keith, if we want to find you, though, where can we check out Keith?
Retro Card Collector on YouTube and Instagram. New video every Sunday. Next one, we should be looking at Calgary Comic and Entertainment Expo. We're going to see how many sword booths I can find. David, what about you?
So for me, you can find me. I'm doing the regular YouTube thing now. Look at me go. Dave, it's me. There it is right there. Almost at, this is a little outdated. I'm almost at 500 subscribers. So we're getting close. I'm trying to post out some new videos like every Sunday, but it's been busy. So just bear with me. Trust me, there's a lot of toy content coming out very soon. So David's me, and then you can find me on Instagram, david.apuzo. And there I'm doing my thing too. How about you, Russ?
Nice. Super busy on my YouTube channel. You can check me over at Russ Lyman. We got videos Monday, Wednesday, Friday with live streams every Wednesday as well. Check me out on TikTok, Instagram at Russ Lyman. It's a good time. And if you guys want to support us here, again, we're on YouTube, we're on Spotify. You can listen or watch the video version here on YouTube and check out theweeklywarpipe.com for everything in case you guys missed some stuff. All right, guys, thanks so much for jumping in the Warp Pipe with us. And we'll see you on the next level.